Hey, and welcome to another Cardboard Conversations. We are patless, not pantless.
Wow,
Uh,
both actually.
I have pants on. You don't have to, of course, if you're watching.
At
But
least we're not witless.
yeah, we've got another Cardboard Conversations here. Uh, make sure to stay after the show because we've got the show after the show for members only. I'm going to be opening a box of Dragonstorm Tarkir for our Commander Raids box break. We're doing another series of box breaks over the next month or so. We'll be opening some boxes here, and then we'll be playing some more Commander Raids. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe the video. Share it with your friends if you like Commander Raids or if you like the podcast.
Are we a podcast?
That's
I
what
don't
we
know what
think.
we're called.
I think it's a podcast.
We're streamers, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I don't know what you call us.
I think it's a. I don't know. I would consider it a podcast. People talking. We don't really like show much. I mean, every now and then we share some screens, but yeah. So speaking of Dragonstorm Tarkir, we've got some rumors, or not even rumors. We've got some evidence, I guess, of people talking about the print quality being fairly poor with Dragonstorm Tarkir. Is anybody in the audience? Have you guys noticed that? I haven't yet, but I've only done the pre-release. The pre-release was fine.
I don't think it's just limited to the print quality. I think the quality controls overall. So some of the things that I've heard, and shout out to Perp for capturing a lot of this information. He seems to capture a lot very early on. He does the high quality videos that he puts out, and he has a lot of good information in there. Some of the stuff that he's covered over the last couple of weeks were like ink bleeding out and having like very funky colors on the cards. That would be a print quality issue. He just recently showed like an entire deck that was miscut. I think it was a Commander Precon, and the entire thing was miscut. There you're seeing something that I've heard a lot about, and that is that it's very fuzzy. If you look at like the lettering, and that's the whole image. It's the picture, it's the lettering. If you even look at like the symbol, it's got like they shifted slightly, or there was vibration when it was printing, and you get this fuzzy look on it. They've had some that were like the colors were completely off. They've had some where, and on the miscuts that he just showed this week, the front side was horribly miscut. But when you flip it over, it looks like a normal Magic card.
Oh, that's weird. Normally the whole card's miscut.
Yeah, it's so again, just like their quality's off, but it's even worse than that. So those the guest slot cards that are in there?
Yeah, special guest, yeah.
Yeah, the special guest. There was a box that somebody opened. I think it was a play booster that every uncommon was a special guest.
Interesting.
Which means that there are a whole bunch of boxes for like those odds that you're supposed to get one. Yeah, that did not get any special guests. I don't know if the special guests are in only the collector boxes. I haven't seen any box openings with the special guests in the play boosters. And I have no idea if they're even possible to be in the pre-release. There's not as many. I've noticed there's not as many content creators cracking boxes out there anymore. I don't know if you've noticed the same thing.
I don't typically subscribe to the content creators that just crack boxes. I did. I mean, I'm subscribed to like the
Even
professor.
Rudy
Yeah, well, I subscribe to the professor. He does the collector box openings now because nobody cares about the play boosters. So that kind of gives you some kind of indication that that they're less popular. Only care about the lottery pools, and that's about the only thing you can do with anymore is just with collector boxes. But yeah, shout out to Nico over in the Joel R Magic. He sent these images for me for
nice
miscuts and blurry letters and stuff like that. So I was curious. I'm like, I don't know if there's anybody that has images of these that I can kind of show on the stream, and they provided those.
So I mean, I don't know how much of this is due to like the popularity
of Tarkir.
Oh, and even Joel said that his commander precon, I think it was the Sultai one. He said the entire deck is like upshifted to the left or something like that. So it does seem like it's much more than normal. But I have to report, I guess, that I have rumors that the foils are staying flat. We'll see
I've been noticing that they are getting better. I mean, I don't know where the epitome of like horrible foils were as far as like the curling goes. Like, where was the worst? A lot of it seemed to come out of like the secret lair drops.
I think it was the secret lair countdown. Those things were so bad.
I think I've seen worse actually. With the curling,
they were like
the problem with that secret lair countdown is that the cards were in individual wrappers per card, and there was no good quality controls on those because some of the card wrappers were crimped so tight that it like bent the card inside the wrapper. And I don't know how much of that is, due to the nature of putting single cards in a wrapper. But yeah, those weren't great, but it was somewhere around that era. The worst foils, if I have to go with like worst foils, I don't know about the curling, but they were pretty bad there too, was Commander Legends. And I don't know if you recall Commander Legends foils, but they are so dark. Like the quality is just awful. It's some of the cards are so dark they're hard to read.
I'd rather dark than pringled,
but they were both dark and pringled though. It was like there's just no winning with the Commander Legends foils are just bad. And that's unfortunate. Now the Commander Legends was the first set to have the what's that called? The etched foils.
Yeah.
And those were a bit too dark as well, but at least they're flat. At least they're playable. But that whole era, yeah, like late like 2021 through 2023. Ooh, man. And you saw how uncomfortable Mark was when we were at Vegas, and I called him out on the pringling of the foils. And so maybe Matt and you could give us a little bit of thanks to really hold their feet to the floor. Mark was definitely uncomfortable with that conversation at the table.
It felt like he was like powerless.
Yeah,
he was like, there's nothing we can do about it, man. And like, it is what it is. It's like, well,
and I was like, bullshit. And I tossed him a double-sided foil, and I was like, there you go. Doesn't pringle. Foil both sides.
Do it. They don't have problems with pringling as much.
And what he said,
do it too.
I don't want to misquote him, so I'm just going to paraphrase. But essentially, what he said was, "Well, you can't. Well, here I actually have a double-sided foil right here. They double-side these tokens, but there are double-sided cards, and if they're foil, you have to foil both sides, and they're tournament legal. So yes, you could foil the back of a Magic card until you can get the pringling under control." And he didn't like that answer, and he was just kind of pissy about it, kind of like, not my problem.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they're improving it. That's good.
Yeah,
that's all we can do.
And I'm gonna delude myself by thinking that our conversation with him actually helped push them towards making better cards, at least better foils. Love you too. So yeah, I think that you're right. I think that we're seeing a shift towards flatter foils, which I think is, in the long run, it's a good thing. People don't want to have shitty quality cards. It's that simple. They're expensive as hell to begin with.
How you doing? You ready for some Tarkir Dragonstorm play booster openings? That's what we're going to be doing tonight after the show. The show after the show.
Yeah, time capsule.
I'm excited. I want to pull Ureni. That's the one that I want.
Whoa! Let's not talk about what we want to pull on the show.
Or Bader. Bader wouldn't be bad either. So that could be the master Bader.
I don't even know what I want to pull, so I'm just going to kind of go with it.
I wouldn't mind having like a really powerful aggro commander. I don't actually have many of those. I get stomped by Volo all the time from not Volo, Voja. Yeah, the wolf that cares about wolves and elves. You just like draw cards and put counters on all your dudes whenever you go to attack. And she has like ward 3, 5/5. It's like a stupid card. My one buddy has that deck. It's a very powerful commander. Like you're dead by like turn 4 or 5. It's rough. Jeff Bezos' space uniform is a demonic symbol.
I'm guessing he's talking about the Katy Perry patch here, maybe.
Apparently, she regrets doing the jump because there's so much backlash from it.
Well, duh. I mean, all of them. 5 nitwits in space. How is that supposed to help? Promote space flight? Let's take some highly unpopular, super rich, not great personalities, all 5 women, and just chuck them up in space in a penis rocket, and that's going to go well.
Is Katy Perry not? People do not like her?
In certain circles,
I truthfully don't know.
I'm sure there are certain circles that do like her, but she's a polarizing figure. And what is the point of sending up a pop star?
I don't even know why. I thought honestly, they just did it for fun. I thought they were just,
and calling them astronauts is an insult to every astronaut that's ever put in all the work that they had to get there. They did nothing to move things forward. As a matter of fact, it might be a backwards push because Bezos isn't. I'm not Bezos. Elon Musk is not the most popular person on the planet at the moment. So, yeah, not good optics. And I don't know what kind of like groups they run these things in front of before doing it, or if it's just a bunch of rich assholes saying, "Yeah, that's a good idea." And just let's go. It's the same people they consulted for Snow White. Oh, dude. Yeah, I don't even want to. I was doing this just as a meme, with.
I was wondering why it was your background.
This is a real astronaut in space performing real science. Would you like to see my daisy? Like, get out of here. What a farce.
I thought it was going to be, I mean, it makes sense to, I mean, I didn't know how long it was going to take for rich people to just pay to go out of space, go to outer space.
It's already been happening.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like a new thing. So it's, I don't know.
But to have such publicity on it, fine. You want to pay to go do it? Awesome job on you. But broadcasting it and expecting people to get behind you in the environment where people are struggling to, make ends meet. They're getting kicked out of their houses. They're getting shit foreclosed on. They're getting their cars repoed. Welcome everybody.
What's up, Isabel? There's no difference to broadcasting that than what's his face? What's that rapper that is in the Magic the Gathering? He bought the One Ring.
Oh, you're talking about Post Malone?
Yeah, it's no different than Post Malone flaunting that he spent $2 million on a fucking Magic
there's a huge difference.
I don't think so.
Well, first of all, there is no government money around the world being spent for Magic the Gathering. There is tons of money being poured into space programs. There's still government hands in the pie here, so to speak, and there's tax dollars. Now, the issue is that they're trying collectively, the idea is that they're trying to make space travel more popular so that they can fund it from the public rather than, raping people for taxes for it, and push the human saga forward. I'm just going to go into a little tangent here, nothing to do with magic or games or whatnot, but in case you're not aware, eventually the sun will swell up enough that it'll engulf the earth. That is the most likely scenario for the end of the earth in about 1 to 2 billion years.
Yeah.
That's a long time off. But if we do not do all the things that we need to become a space-faring species, and there are so many hurdles, and I agree with you. Elon Musk's thinking that we could, even just a trip to Mars is probably a death sentence. But to live there is absolutely a death sentence. And I can't believe there were 250,000 people that signed up for it. But if we don't get off this planet, that is the end of the human species, period. End of story. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. If we do not start spending more money on space exploration and sciences than blowing people up and tariffs, we're doomed. And we need to get our shit together as a species, or eventually the human species just ends. It's that simple. And this does not help that.
This is the opposite of helping.
The only thing I saw about this launch is that people were comparing it to the Austin Powers penis rocket scene, where like they kept showing on the radar. There was like it looked like a cock and two balls.
Oh yeah, I mean it's
so it did kind of look like it did kind of look like a cock.
Oh,
So.
The penis rocket definitely looks like a penis rocket. I don't know why they couldn't streamline that and put a collar around it to at least not have a penis head on it, but they okay, whatever. Maybe they're leaning into it at this point. As far as like sending the materials, that's not even the biggest problem. The bigger problem, in all honesty, is space is just absolutely chock full of radiation, and you're gonna have cancer by the time you even land on Mars.
Like I think it was something wasn't going to take like 5 years to get there or some shit.
No. It takes about 18 months to get there, and you could always send robotic ships and just land stuff there. Fine, whatever. But a bigger problem is sending people into the vacuum of space without the protective shield of a magnetosphere of the Earth, and Mars doesn't have a strong magnetosphere. It's a death sentence, even if you shield the ship, which would add tons and tons of weight to send.
I remember what it was. He was saying it'll take about 5 years to terraform Mars if they get enough people.
You can't. It's not possible to terraform Mars, and I'll even tell you the simple explanation. Saw this maybe a decade ago. The problem is that Mars no longer has a molten core. That's why it's no longer basically geologically active. It doesn't have volcanoes. And without a molten core, you have no magnetosphere, which is why the atmosphere blew away from Mars in the first place. So even if you were able to somehow generate more atmosphere, it's just going to blow away. It has no magnetosphere. And you can look into it that way, and there's no way to generate that kind of magnetic field. We don't have the ability to generate that kind of energy to create a magnetosphere. So it's a moot point. You could hide out in like a tent or in a capsule for a short period of time, but terraforming it for people to live there, get out of here. You're a monkey.
I gotta tell you, that's one of the strangest disses I've ever heard. You look like you make an awful garlic bread. I don't even know what that
is that a diss even?
I don't know.
I do make awful garlic bread, so
I don't
nailed it.
I'm a fairly good cook, so he's probably talking about you, I guess.
Oh sure, I make terrible garlic bread. I burn it all the time, so you nailed it. Congratulations, Treyu.
That is fair. I do sometimes burn it. I won't lie.
So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go down that tangent. And it was like I said, this is really just more for the memes. I was struggling to come up with something relevant, and I couldn't find a obvious enough picture with the card quality issues with Tarkir, which seems to be about the biggest complaint that people have at this point for Tarkir. I think you can clearly say that this is a win of a set for WOTC, though I don't agree with all of the bandwagoneers saying, look, WOTC, you need to change your direction again and go back into the lore of the original Magic IP. Like, I don't know that that's the proper solution, and they've already definitely embraced Universes Beyond. They're already paying for IPs. There's definitely already more in the works than we're not even aware of, so they can hype us up next year to drain more from our wallets. Those sets tend to do very, very well. They're not going to abandon Universes Beyond. I'm just going to dispel you of that. That's my opinion. I don't know anybody at WOTC, but get off of that button. It's a dead moot point. You know, the best you can hope for is they mix it in.
Speaking of WOTC and what they're planning to do, probably at the end of this month, sometime there was the announcement of the ban list. This is the current ban list that we have at the moment.
Where did you see that, by the way? Because I've been kind of combing for the announcement. I thought it was very odd that they put the ban list out, even if they did nothing with that format at the beginning of the month, but just completely ignored Commander like it doesn't even exist as a format.
Well, this is.
So where did you see that announcement? I didn't see it.
This was in the brackets. The brackets. Whatchamacallit? Oh, it's actually April 22nd is the specific date.
Okay.
This is the one where they talked about in the brackets. They said that we have nothing to comment now on the banning or unbanning of the cards, but they said late April they will talk about the what they've come up with the bracket system or as far as the ban list is concerned. And they said that there will be 0 bans, 100% guaranteed 0 bans is what they said. But they will talk about the unbanning of cards and then talk about how they plan to potentially ban cards going forward, is what they said. So
that's a lot to try to
digest there. So I'm kind of curious for those in the audience. How about you ask your question to them, and then we can get to our answers.
So yeah, of these cards on the ban list, are there any cards on here that there's not that many, to be honest. I mean, obviously there's like the Power 9 and those I feel like that's fine to keep banned. It's whatever. I mean, I know that you're probably under the. I'll let you. I think I know your answer, but I'll go with mine.
I'll let you
two
answer for
specific
me when we
ones.
get to that point, but I want to hear what the audience has to say first. Of what would you like to see? Matt's question to me was, what would you like to see unbanned?
Yeah, is there
And
any cards on the list that you would think would be fine to unbanned?
And I'm going to expand your question to say, are there any cards you want to see banned added to this list? So, what cards do you want to see banned or unbanned in the Commander format? Because we're going to get that update in just a couple days here. Before you see us again,
my number one card is Jeweled Lotus. I think that it was completely made for the format. I think it to me, it's the soul ring of it's like literally only used. There's one other use case outside of Commander that this card is used for, and it's not that powerful. It is a very powerful card, but it's not that powerful. There's a lot of decks that can't even use it because they're multicolored decks.
I
and
don't
it's
put it
only
in any
good
decks
one
except for
mana.
Sherry's Angel deck, because the Commander is Avacyn that's 8 mana to get out. If I don't have Jeweled Lotus in there, that Commander never hits the table.
Yeah, it makes sense to. I mean, that's just the thing. Like, there are some commanders that are quote unquote unplayable at the higher end because they are so expensive. Having the Jeweled Lotus just kind of gives you the ability to get those commanders out a little faster. Yes, you could say the same thing for lower casting cost commanders, that they get those out faster, so now you don't have time for the bigger ones. But realistically, I don't know. I don't see a problem with Jeweled Lotus. I really hope it gets unbanned. I would like to play it in a couple decks. I don't even play it in every deck. I just play it in a couple decks. Like, for instance, I have Scion of the
Like
Ur-Dragon.
Atraxa, maybe?
Other commander that doesn't. Why would you run it? It's 5 colors. Yeah, Atraxa. Don't run it in Atraxa. It's 4 colors. So Jeweled Lotus does nothing for those decks. But stuff like Itali, Primal Conqueror, he's like an 8-dropper, and then it just helps it out get a little faster. It lets you do something. I mean, you got cards like Voja that can just stomp you face in by turn 4 or 5. You kind of need it for these bigger decks, if you want to be able to play the big stompy things. So I don't know. I think that's my number one wish, is that Jewel Lotus just gets unbanned. I don't even have any, so like I probably should buy some, but I'm not gonna bother. I don't want any sealed or any singles. I just want all sealed stuff.
What about cards you would like to see banned? Are there any cards you want to have added to the ban list? Just because they're annoying, or
I wouldn't mind like
Mystic
Study and Mystic Remora. Those two kind of cards, they just provide so much value that it makes me feel like an idiot for not playing it.
What about Smothering Tithe?
I don't mind Smothering Tithes. It doesn't give card value; it gives mana. And
Esper Sentinel.
Esper Sentinel isn't as bad as the other two, the Ristic Studies or the Mystic Remorse, because it's only 1 mana, and it takes effort in order to get his power to be higher. So I don't mind Esper Sentinel. Esper Sentinel, I would say, would be like that should be like the most powerful effect, the most powerful like kind of engine, where it requires a little bit of build around to make it more difficult to pay for. Like, if you can pump his power and make it more difficult to pay for, then yeah, good job. Otherwise, like, Mystic Remora does nothing. You play it, and then you either pay it or you don't, and it just kind of sits there, and it gets around board wipes. Being a creature is also important as well.
Well, but it has cumulative upkeep, so it generally only sticks around for 1, 2, maybe 3 turns.
Well, same thing with Ristic Study is what I'm saying. Like, those, they're not creatures. Being on a creature is an important thing. Like Orcish Bowmaster can just come in and shoot it. Any kind of board wipe. Like, being a creature is more fragile than an enchantment. Like, so again, I think Esper Sentinel is probably at the top end. I don't mind Esper Sentinel. What I think is really cool is in the Hashaton deck that I have, is when you cycle him, he becomes a 4/4, and then he's a 4/4 Esper Sentinel. That's pretty cool. I like. It
looks like the audience has no opinion one way or the other about
the ban list. I'm just happy to be here.
Just listening to us ramble on. All right, so without any input from the audience here, you said you know my answer. What's my answer?
Yeah, you don't want any of these cards on the ban list. You think there
That's
should
right.
be no ban
Unban
list.
everything, man. What? But why?
Even the Power 9, you actually think Power 9 should be unbanned
Sure.
as well?
Sure.
You think Shahrazad, the one that like restarts
you
the
know
game, you think
that
this
was
game
the
should be here?
first? That was the first card that I spent $20 on in 1994 or 5. Ordered it from a magazine because I loved playing it. And I agree. Everybody, when that would hit the board, would be like, "All right, let's just shuffle up and play a different game."
Right?
And not because of
Like,
Scheherazade.
this is
You
the
win.
card
Let's
that,
go
like,
to the
come
next
on,
game.
this should stay banned. Let's be honest.
But I don't. But no. But why do I not? No, I don't.
I understand
be
because
banned.
the rule 0, you can just be like, all right, let's just not play with Sway. Or listen, what is Sway the Stars? I actually don't even know what this. Oh, it's the same thing. It's 10 mana though. Much more.
But why is Flash? I don't understand why Flash is banned.
I was also thinking the same thing. Also, same thing with Profix of Krufix. Why is Profix of Krufix? This card just so beyond banned. It is its Seedborn Muse was slightly powerful. Was being slightly more powerful. Like
it's not slightly more powerful. That's a lot more powerful. It's like Seedborn Muse and what was Jimmy or not Jimmy, but Josh Lee Kwai's favorite little card, the one that gives everything flash. It's an artifact. I think it's forecasting.
Chromatic Orrery, something Orrery.
Vidalcan Orrery.
Yeah, okay.
So it's Vidalcan Orrery and
yeah, but it's also in 2 colors. And now, yes, it is in the best 2 colors of Magic, so I get it. I don't know. I don't think this card should be banned. My mind was blown that this card was banned, to be honest.
I don't think that this is more powerful than, say, Omniscience, which is not.
I'm saying there's like, I mean, Raffaello. I don't think this
like
card
that. I don't get at all. Like that's not banned, or that's banned, but Gaia's Cradle's not.
Please,
and like you said,
this because I actually own one.
it's I own 4, but that's not why. But to your point, go back to it. It's a 1 toughness creature, right?
It's 2/1. Yeah, it's so.
It is a very non-protective. 1 toughness creature that dies to basically anything. Bowmasters, like why?
Small breath. Yeah, I don't know. It's very this. I also was very confused when this was banned in Commander. I remember I had one from our cube, and I was like looking up the price, and it was like $60 or $70 at the time.
And additionally, I think anymore in Commander, like what's even worse about this one is look at the other restriction that's on it. It's like a strictly worse Gaia's Cradle.
I like this website. It gives you like the reason why each one's banned. So
but why?
Is unique in its ability to consistently provide access to 6 mana on turn 3 as a commander, which honestly is it's not that is fairly consistent. Well, this is very consistent, I guess. Regardless of which cards are played in the rest of the deck, this card is banned for doing too much too fast with minimal deck building. I guess because it's in the command zone, you could say that's why it's the problem. I still don't think it is.
I still don't think it's a problem. Additionally, look at the restriction. What does it give you mana for? That's like the biggest. And you would almost never, you would not benefit from this even in your green decks, and why?
Because you have to run basic forests. Well,
you don't have to run basic forest, but you have to run.
Well, you're in mono green. So what forests aren't basics that are solo colored? There's not many. I don't even know if there is any.
I don't see many mono green decks. Period.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really see it being that.
There are very few mono color decks, maybe except CEDH, and they're usually like
Primordial. White. I don't understand why this card's banned.
What about the other one? What about the other guy, the Prime Time?
Primeval Titan. I kind of understand Primeval Titan. I am okay with it being unbanned, but at the same time, I kind of understand it. Like lands are very powerful. This gets any 2 lands. I'm on the fence with this one. I want it to be unbanned, but that's because I play degenerate lands. So like, I don't know. I just know that I play against a buddy that has a Valakut deck and a Glacial Chasms deck and a fucking all of the lands that he has is just if you're not gonna play land destruction, his deck just stomps you. It's just you have to run like all of the land destructions or else he just destroys you. You have to run land destruction and graveyard hate against his deck or else you just get stomped. So if he had access to Primeval Titan, that means he can get the moment it comes in, he can get a Cabal Coffers and a whatchamacallit, a Gaia's Cradle, and then he's just got like 100 mana. Like, I don't know. It just, I do understand why it's banned. I don't
But
know.
look, there are other 2-card combinations out there that win games that are
Yeah,
not
I know.
banned.
It's just the
Like-
value. It's
Like
insane
Thoracle,
value.
like any Thoracle deck, right? Or going with Narset with wheels.
I don't mind Sundering Titan being unbanned, although I can understand it being banned because people don't like land destruction. But if you're gonna play with a person that's gonna abuse this, then
okay. And now we're back in my ball court.
Is a problem.
There are so many decks that can abuse so many things. Cannon Bonder. I mean, just
Yeah.
like there's so many degenerate things in Magic. Period. That just make it a part of the Rule 0 conversation.
Yeah, if he wasn't enters or leaves, if he was being like, if he was when he was killed or I don't know, the bounce thing is a problem. That's the problem. Decks that bounce him can be but again, like I said, like if you're playing with people that abuse things like that, like Tolarian Academy, I get that it's a very powerful card, but so is Gaia's Cradle. So I don't know. I don't mind Tolarian Academy. I mean, it's a very strong card, but Gaia's Cradle is also a very strong card.
Back to my point. Rule 0 is there for a reason. If you don't like the way that it plays, just say no. Don't play that.
Upheaval. This is like it's funny. Cyclonic Rift is one of like the game changer cards that people talk about being like, head game. They're like, this is like worse. I agree with this. I don't want to play against this. The moment somebody plays this, I'm scooping and just going to the next game. I just don't. Thanks, Time Capsule. See you later, man. Enjoy. Yawgmoth's Bargain. I don't know why this is banned at all. There's like multiple cards that do this that are not banned. So why is this one banned?
Well, because they're not multiple cards that do that. And you get to draw it like right away and then play it. If you're thinking about Necropotence, I think that's at the end of your turn.
Well, there's Necropotence, Necrodominance, and then there's also the 5-drop is it an instant or sorcery that like you reveal cards from the top of your deck and you like take damage for each card you draw for their CMC or something like that. And people build around that all the time. I don't know. I guess it's a 6-drop enchantment though. Like it's hard to cheat this kind of card.
It's a 6-drop enchantment in black. Good luck.
Well, black has a very high amount of ramp, so don't say that.
It can.
I've played Crick. He's you can ramp very hard in mono black. Lutri, I don't understand this. I hate this so much. Bring the Otter back. Unleash the Otter. I don't care about the just let every blue red. I don't care. Let every blue red deck have an Lutri. I don't give a flip. Like,
are you saying allow companions?
Yeah, I don't care. I don't understand this.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't care. People that are like, oh, it's a free for every blue red deck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Now,
awesome.
especially now that they changed the companion rule where you have to pay like 3 colorless to even get it into your hand. So then you're paying 3 colorless plus the 3 to flash it in. I don't know. It only copies the stuff you control. It's not that big a deal.
I agree with you.
This is probably the same kind of situation. Oh yeah, nobody likes playing against that kind of stuff. I don't actually think Library of Alexandria is that good of a card, but people every time I say that, people like freak out. They're like, "Oh no, it's the best card ever printed." Like, okay, no, I don't like it. I don't even know who this is. Each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn. Whenever you or a permanent you control becomes a target of spell or ability, you may draw a card. I don't get why.
I don't know why it's banned.
Why is this banned? It creates an environment of asymmetrical resource denial in the early game.
Okay, and you just all right. Swords. Oh, it's your commander. Okay, then it's just going to die every time it hits the board, and I don't.
I don't know. Yeah,
I think that's overboard.
I understand why Krakus is banned. I agree with this. It's kind of yeah. This is never getting unbanned, like ever. This is too good. That becomes a big issue.
It becomes an auto include in every white deck, but that's the only reason I see it. I mean, there's other ways to kind of do that, except it's not on a land. I get it. Whatever.
Well, it's on a land, so then you have to run land destruction. And not only can you bounce your opponent's stuff, you can bounce your own stuff to get like ETBs. And like there's probably infinite loops where like when a creature enters the battlefield, untap a land and boom, you have and it's probably it doesn't need to be in the format. I agree with that. Iona.
That one's terrible, but again, there's no card made that I think can't come off this list. You can't rule 0 about it.
I don't know. It's a 9-drop. I mean, like, I guess you can reanimate it. You can cheat it in if it's not your commander. But then if it's not your commander, then you've got to either have it in your hand or
what they're saying is that it isolates unfairly a single opponent.
Yeah, if they're playing 1 or 2 colored decks, or if you pick the color that has the most common removal across all your opponents, she's very hard to remove, and then people can't play the game. I get it, but like there are times where I've played against stuff that I don't really. I feel like I'm out of the game already. So like I don't know. Like when I play against my buddy that has glacial chasms, I'm like, how do I win? I can't. I don't play land destruction because that's frowned upon. But now I got a glacial chasm that I'm playing against, and I can't win. So I guess I just pass the turn and just hope you die to the cumulative upkeep. But no, wait, you're a lands matters deck that can just like remove it and then like re-kit it from your graveyard or whatever. It's just Shifting Woodlands. Woo! What a powerful card. Shifting Woodlands probably should be a game changer. Hull Breacher, I don't mind. It's just a way to keep card draw in check. The problem is with wheels, I'm guessing, if it was what they're going to say.
Yeah, but I mean, you still have similar effects with other cards like that that Dimir one that does almost literally the same thing.
There's the Narsh set that does it too. Your opponents can't draw more than 1 card, and then you don't get anything in return. But if you wheel, then they've got nothing, and you've got a full grip. So like, there's this would just give more potential value to that, I guess. Gristlebrand, I don't know. It's a very powerful card, and it definitely makes it so that like the moment it hits the field, even if you have removal, you're going to draw like 25 cards or 21 cards, probably 28 cards maybe. And you'll probably win the game if you're building the deck in order to pit, it's probably this might have been banned for CDH, to be honest, because in CDH this card's nuts. I don't know. It's very powerful. I've never faced it, so I don't know how like backbreaking it is. I can see it being quite good, but I don't know. I don't know if that it's necessary. Golos, I don't agree with being banned. I know it's a very powerful card. I know it's the quote unquote like auto 5-drop, but there's so many other commanders I'd rather run. You do get any land from the command. I don't know, a tutor for any land in the command zone. Is that too powerful? When he enters, so you can flicker him. It's good. I wouldn't mind playing a Golos deck if I were playing a lands deck.
It just seems like it would be a fun card to play.
Yeah, I don't think it's too powerful. It is very good, but I don't think it's like broken good. I would like to see it unbanned. I would build one and see maybe it's too strong. Honestly, Hashiton blows this guy out of the water. Hashiton will have the field controlled before you even get this guy out. So I don't know. I could see Hashiton going on the game changers list, to be completely honest. That card's nuts. I don't understand why Gifts on Givens banned. Let's see, what is their thing? Gifts low U invest. Gifts low U. What does that mean?
Low blue. U is blue.
Anyways,
I mean, it's only 1 blue.
Investment makes it splashable, and the instant speed means you can use it at the most opportune time.
Wait, stop. Let's just stop for a second. This is the commander ban list. How many commander decks splash a color for a card?
Yeah, it's a very strange thing to say. Like they can just splash. I mean, well, the problem is in CDH, a lot of the times the people use partners literally to splash colors. So like I do understand that with the whole partner thing, this was before 2009 was well before partners, I think. So that doesn't even exist in this explanation. So yeah, I don't know. I guess people were playing back in the day. People were playing commanders strictly for their colors and not for the actual commander. Maybe. The ability to tutor for two combo pieces and 2 ways to recur them generally makes them
Like I could understand if this was like, and then cast them for free, but it's not.
It's a 4 mana tutor that
then you have to put them in your hand, and then you have to get them off after you get them in your hand. I agree. It's very cumbersome. So I agree. Gifts ungiven. I don't get it why it's here.
I'll show you a card here. Let's see here. I wonder what this card does. Instant speed, 3 mana. Search your library for 4 land cards with different names and reveal them. An opponent chooses 2 of them. Put those chosen cards into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Huh. This isn't banned. This is
but it's just lands.
Powerful. Yeah, but in land decks, they go get. Oh, they trust me. There's no choice. There's literally no choice. It doesn't matter what you do. There's no choice because the 2 cards they get versus the 2 cards that go in their graveyard in the lands matter decks, they have full access to their graveyard unless you have a hate thing for their graveyard. But that's the same thing with Gifts Ungiven. I don't know. I think Realms Uncharted. If Gifts Ungiven is going to be banned, you got to do Realms Uncharted. Especially it's only 3 mana. Anyways. Yeah, Gifts Ungiven.
I just think it's odd to say splash. Maybe CEDH splashes colors, but most commander decks don't splash for a color just for 1 or 2 cards. It's just generally not the way the decks are built.
This one is a little hateful, but I still don't see it being like you got to play a bunch of Cheerios or a bunch of cantrips to flip it, and then it still can eat a removal spell. So it's kind of like, I don't know. Emrakul, I don't mind Emrakul being unbanned. He's a 15 drop, first of all. You don't get the extra turn if you reanimate it. You can't reanimate it because it'll hit the graveyard. Well, there's probably some ways. But I don't really see a reason why this is banned. It's definitely a very powerful creature that when it hits the field, you're probably gonna win, but he's a 15 drop, so like there's not many ways. Well, can you sneak attack this in? You can sneak attack this in. Maybe that's a problem. Emrakul's collection of game warping abilities comes at a high cost, but they have tendency to be effective and win games. Banned to overwhelming outcry from the community who told us that ramping up quickly was the most common and least interesting ways to win as an amazing... Oh, because he can be your commander and you just play like all ramp. I guess. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know.
But again,
this
really is a rule
high.
0 conversation here.
Yeah, 15's really high. I don't know. I don't mind Dockside being on here. I don't mind playing against him, and I don't mind playing him. He's kind of like a whatever for me. It requires your opponents to actually play a lot of artifacts in order for it to be super good. And I get in CDH, I think that they said they don't even miss it. So like it's probably fine to stay on the ban list. I don't mind it being on here. What do you anything you care? You don't care? I know you're rule 0.
Rule 0, baby.
Coalition Victory is kind of dumb that it's on here. So we'll get
like what?
I think it's cool. Like you have to have 5 different land types.
But there's like I think by the same token, if you're gonna ban this, you got to go after all those I win cards.
Yeah, there's like the mechanized reconstruction or something like that. It's like an enchantment. If you have 15 of the same artifact, you win the game. Like, yeah, there's all kinds of stupid stuff like that, which I don't. There's the new dragon one. It's a 5 drop that like. There's no way this doesn't get unbanned. They just printed a dragon one that's like the same freaking thing. Like you have if you put a counter on up to 5 different color dragons, you win the game. Like it's literally the same thing. 5 colors. This one you have to have 5 different land types and a creature of each color. But so I guess the dragon one's more powerful somehow, and it's cheaper. Yeah,
dude, I don't know.
I guess because it's a sorcery. But you just play this, and then somebody goes, I killed your one creature. It's a sorcery. So, yeah, you play this, and then they kill the creature that you have that's the one color that you need, and then you're like, well, I don't have it anymore. I lose. Like, I don't know. It's so crazy to me. Chaos Orb makes sense because you have to destroy the card. I get it. That's fine.
But that's not why. Look at their explanation.
Oh, requires manual dexterity. Oh, this isn't the one where you have to.
No, you don't tear it up.
What's the one? There's one that you tear up.
Yeah, that's the unglued card.
All right. Well, so this is the flip
And
one.
what people did, and I actually saw this in my very first tournament. And so if this tells you how old I am, my first tournament was an Ice Age tournament, and somebody went in and tore it up into shreds, and then sprinkled it all over the field, and it landed on most of the entire guy's board. And he actually got ejected from the tournament. And it was disqualified, so it was a win for the other guy. And I just remember the thought in my head. I can't remember all the specifics about it, but it made a big stink, to where like everybody in the room was like, "Whoa, what is he doing?" Tearing up. And I'm like, "Man, that was stupid. He tore up a $20 card." Like, so it was $20 at the time, and I'm like, "Man, I wouldn't tear up a $20 card." But that's what that was at the time. And so I remember it, and I just think it wasn't so much, about the Magic play aspect of it for me at the time. It was, damn, dude, you tore up a $20 card. That's like 10 packs.
What an idiot.
What an idiot. That's what I was thinking. And he got disqualified anyways.
Do I think Channel is too good? This is a very interesting card.
Yes.
I think it's very powerful because it's a 2-drop that it can accelerate you super quickly, but it is only until end of turn. So it's like if you're playing it on turn 2, you'll only have colorless left. So you have to really kind of build around it to have artifacts to tap for to use this to pay for. Actually, no, not even that, because it's until on turn. Anytime you could activate a mana ability, you pay a life to get an extra colorless. So you have to have more than just the 2 lands already. I don't know. I don't think this should be banned. There's probably combos with it, maybe. Nice. You've been upgraded.
Who is it? Which one of us?
One of us has been upgraded to a mediocre.
Bob or Matt? Which one is the mediocre?
He won't know who's Bob
guy.
or Matt. Never mind. The names are down at the bottom.
I don't know how well we can see that though. They're really
it's very small.
Tiny. If it's on a phone.
The guy with the beard.
Well, I have a beard.
Nah, but like the actual beard,
the manly beard,
the big beard, one that's taken me years to make.
We don't know. That's why we're asking. We may not be the sharpest knives.
You know. So Braids Cabal Minion.
I don't know. So it must be you.
Beginning. So this is one of the hate cards that I don't understand. You just kind of, I guess if you get it out fast enough, you're like the only thing you have is lands, and then because you could Dark Ritual this on turn 1 with a Lotus Petal, and then you basically have no lands, I guess. And then you win from a 2/2. Is that what they're gonna say? Tends to create fully locked down board states. End games were early in the So that's So they remove your lands right away. Yeah, I can see Braids being bannable. I don't want to play against it if they're gonna get on turns 1 or 2 where I have no lands or creatures.
If you just see that as a commander, you say no. Pick a different deck. Rule 0.
Black Lotus. It's probably too strong. Realistically, if this, I don't necessarily mind this. Never mind. Maybe I do mind it. I don't know. I'm trying to compare it to what's that one where you have to discard your hand?
Lion's Eye Diamond.
Yeah, Lion's Eye Diamond. So in CDH, Lion's Eye Diamond is used as a combo piece, and the biggest the biggest hurdle to get over without Underworld Breach is the whole discard your hand thing. So then I have to think about if there was a Black Lotus in the game. I don't know. I don't want Black Lotus in the game. I'm good. Biorhythm. This card, I mean, I think this is fine. There's other cards that are less expensive cost-wise that Biorhythm can appear to deck builders as a fair and funny haymaker, but in reality is that you usually result in a disappointing twist to the game, ignoring various game plays to wipe 100 life off the board. Wrath effects are a core element of casual metagames, and most often Biorhythm results in an accidental elimination of players rather than a strategic payoff. I mean, yeah, but Crater of Behemoth kind of has the same kind of impact. I mean, you could just, in my opinion, Crater of Behemoth, you have the board state and then you win. That's all you need.
Well, all they're saying is something like Biorhythm, that you board wipe, play one creature, then play Biorhythm. I win.
I mean, you play Creator of Behemoth and you swing your creature sideways. I win. Like,
I agree with you, dude. You're the one that's arguing for a ban list. I'm not.
there's also a card that I got. I played against. It felt very much like the same kind of situation. It's not like super powerful, but like it's off. I mean, it is. So Titanic Ultimatum, and the casting cost is kind of what makes it, like, I guess somewhat fair. But all your creatures getting 5/5 trample, lifelink, and first strike.
First, right? Yeah.
Especially when you have a deck that's focused around giving your creatures death touch, then we only have to assign 1 to your lethal damage, and then everything else tramples over. And the lifelink is insane. Like, this is definitely a haymaker, in my opinion, similar to Biorhythm. I think that this is fine. 8-drop is very hard to cheat. If you're playing a board up and then playing a creature and then also playing Biorhythm, I mean, you're paying like what, 15 mana. I don't know. I think it's fine. Not sure. Not really too. I agree with Balance. Balance is boring and not fun. And such a recall. It's a very powerful card. Yeah, I guess Power 9 should probably stay on that. Just because of this, not necessarily because of power, but because of like inaccessibility. Yeah, you can just proxy it, of course. What the fuck is Falling Star? Flip Falling Star. Okay, flip.
It's another dexterity one.
It just says Flip Star. It doesn't even say Flip Falling Star. It just says Flip Star. That's weird. Onto the playmat from a height of at least 1 foot.
Oh, that sucks, coach.
Star must turn at least 360 degrees or it has no effect. When Falling Star lands, Falling Star deals... And then it says Falling Star afterwards. What the fuck? This card's weird. It does 3 damage to each creature that it touches. This is not even a good card. This is a terrible card. I understand that it requires manual dexterity, blah, but it's like a fun card. This isn't even that powerful. At least with Chaos Orb, doesn't it like destroy everything it touches? Yeah, destroy. At least this one is like only 3
Dude, I
damage.
challenge you. Just take a card right now, and you got to hold it at least 12 inches above, and try to get it to land anywhere. Like, even getting it to land on the table is a difficult thing to, like...
But if you're not good at it, don't play it. It's not even a good card.
It's not even a thing that anybody's good at, right? It's just...
Well, I'm sure there are some people
it ends up all over the damn place.
There's some people might be really good at Falling Star.
Bro, any card you want to take off the list here, I'm fine with that. I don't care. All of them. Nuke it. Let's go.
Is there a card that you would want to see banned?
No.
Oh, well.
Either ban none of them or all of them.
Well, you can't ban all of them because then
ban them all. Put every card on there. Everything except basic lands.
Ooh, what a fun game that would be. Land go. All right, so you said that the Magicon thing, it doesn't matter anymore.
No, we're a little late on that. I thought it would be today. So, just as a PSA, too late. The Magicon early bird ended yesterday.
Oh, okay. Well, our podcast wasn't on Saturday, so sorry.
No, it is on Saturday, but
or Friday. Sorry,
it wasn't on Friday. Yeah.
No,
sorry about that, folks. But yeah, it's over. You missed it. Too late. If you're trying to get early bird, don't even know what's in early bird. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've talked to only a couple of people that actually have bought a Black Lotus pass since the original Vegas Magic.
Since the Magic
30, and they're like, they don't get near what we got. And I'm not even talking about just the M30 packs. I'm talking about, like, being able to play with different celebrities. How many celebrities did we see in that room when they were kissing our ass? It was everybody. I mean, literally everybody that was at that show, and being able to sit down and play with the lane chase, you know what I mean, at your table. Like, none of that shit, dude.
I played with one of the story directors named Lighty. I played a Commander game with him. I
got to play with Gavin.
There was some product manager. Yeah, we met Gavin, had him on the podcast. That was awesome.
I played with him, and he had a different format where he put the plane chase cards in Commander. That was a ton of fun.
And we got to talk for at least 3 hours, 2 hours at a
it
minimum.
was great.
Mark Rosewater.
I think
over-
that should
over
be
the 2 days.
if you're paying $1,000 for their pass. I mean, yeah, you are getting a bunch of physical
We only
product as
paid
well.
$750.
But it's $1,000 now. So
Yeah, and we
I
got
think
they get the
that's the early
backpack
bird.
still. They get a few packs that are nowhere near the $1,500. Yeah, we definitely had the Epic, and that wasn't even in the package, by the way, Coach. It was this dude who was like some marketing muckety muck from just some other random company who was pissed off at what he got, and so he went and complained. And boy, did they schmooze that guy! I mean, and he
must have been important because they fucking kissed his ass. I don't understand.
Didn't even know Jimmy Wong walked up to my table when I was playing with Gavin. Matt had to tell me later. Like,
I was
hey.
like, you realize that was Jimmy Wong, right? And he's like, oh.
I was like, no, I'm playing Magic. Get away. But it was everybody. Voxy was in there, and
I got a picture with Voxy.
And if we had been patient enough, we could have played Commander with Sheldon Menery. That might have been a cool experience. Though I'll be honest, I like Gavin far better, just personality wise, than Sheldon.
I don't know. I actually, to be honest, I don't know if I've watched enough content from Sheldon Menery to really know. Like in person,
no, I'm just talking, you weren't watching when he was in the break room.
Not really.
Not the most affable guy. He wasn't like Aaron Forsythe, who was a dick, by the way. But he was, dude. I'm sorry, that guy was an asshat.
He was very direct and
he was very show off. Like when I was talking to the dude,
to me.
Huh?
He was okay.
When he turned around and interrupted my conversation with, I don't know who the fuck it was over at WOTC, but he goes, he can't make it happen, but I can. And then turned around, didn't even like, okay, if you can make it happen, then let's talk. Because I was talking about the PvE format. And he goes, he can't make it happen, but I can. And then didn't even bother to figure out what I was talking to him about and just turned back around. I'm like, dick. But
well, we've got about 3 minutes left in the show. If you guys
about
like
1
what
minute
you're watching, it's 56 minutes and 49 seconds.
No, it's 7:59 on mine.
I don't know. Maybe we were slightly late when we went live. Either way, we're wrapping up the show.
Yes.
If you like the show, like it, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, and also become a channel member. The minimum is $1, and you get the benefits of being able to see the show after the show. We're going to be opening up a box of Tarkir Dragonstorm, and this is going to be for our Commander Raids box break. We'll be doing that over the next month or so.
We did start late, so if you want to hold our feet to the flame, we'll stick around, and I want to answer your question. But go ahead. You continue. Yes, Matt's going to crack his Tarkir. So very excited about this. I'll be honest, I'm not all that giggly about Tarkir. The only thing that has me interested in it is building these new box breaks and playing Commander Raids with it. It is a fun way to interact with the product.
It's a banger set. I had a lot of fun in the pre-release, so
Cool.
I'm excited. I also want to see how messed up my cards are when I open them.
I don't know that like we'll see. But no, I don't believe any of us are planning to go to a con this year. In all likelihood, if you see the three of us together at any con at all, it's way more likely to be Gen Con.
Yeah, Gen Con, hopefully next year. I would like to go next year.
We'll try to make that happen. This year, I'm planning to get married in the fall to the lovely Miss Sherry Vegas. So, money's a little tight. Likely, we'll look at next year. I enjoy going to Gen Con, though with my health issues, I do have to consider going there for only like a day or two. I would like to meet Lance in person. I'd like to meet a lot of you in person if you end up going. And let me tell you, Gen Con is a wicked good time. It's
good.
Lots of stuff. Like it's far more than just Magic, but there's definitely enough to do if you just want to do Magic there. Like they have nonstop Magic tournaments going the whole time. There's hundreds of people there, maybe thousands of people playing Magic.
New product, new games, new products,
promo cards.
Stuff. Yeah, promo cards. That was a lot of fun getting all the promo cards for the different games.
So it's just a fantastic place to go, and it's not just like with Vegas, it was almost a little bit too much Magic. 5 days of Magic. It's like I'm good after about one or two.
Oh, and as we wrap it up, we have one last thing on the docket that we'll just kind of briefly mention, that apparently Wilds of Eldrain set boxes are getting a reprint, which is interesting. It's been out of print for I don't know how long, but apparently they're just like, hey, it needs a reprint. I think they're realizing that because it's going to be in standard for so long, I think they're realizing that the cards have been like maybe creeping up in price and people have been bitching about it. So I guess they're like, hey, and plus they also see the advantage of being like, hey, we can get more money. So you know.
Rudy did a whole thing on it. That's where I heard the information. I haven't seen anything personally, and I haven't really been chasing down the information, but supposedly that's a thing that's happening. So if you were planning to buy Wilds of Eldrain set boxes in the near future, you might want to hold off.
Apparently they're up to like $200. So yeah,
well, they're already way down. The last I looked, they were like 130 or 140. It was like, ooh, that's got to feel bad for anybody who just recently bought one.
They're 145 right now, but yeah, they were up to 200. They've plummeted significantly, and I think they will plummet more once the stock hits the market. But yeah, that'll be all for us for this stream. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll move on over to the Benson comes in like literally the last second. We're going to the members only stream where I can open my box for the Commander Raids box break, and we'll just be hanging out and chatting over there. We'll be in horizontal mode, which is even better.
We're going horizontal,
folks.
We're
going wide.
All right.
See you there.
Thanks, everybody. See you next week.
Later, Benson.